The virus is mutating. What does that mean? Hi, this is Dr. Earl from Denali Medical, denalimed.com. There's been a lot of interest lately in coronavirus, and certainly we're seeing that across the board. And just a couple of quick topics. We're seeing a lot of different things in the news, opposing things in the news, and I'm hoping to bring a little common sense to that. So first, we're hearing that the virus is mutating, the coronavirus is mutating. What does that mean? Well, the big thing is that in their efforts to find a vaccine, it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to be able to nail down those specific proteins that will allow our immune system to fight off the disease. Vaccines work by activating our immune systems to certain proteins within the virus. And if those proteins shift, change, or swap themselves out, it's kind of like at a swap meet where you're just changing out proteins and DNA. Believe it or not, sometimes that's the best analogy for how viruses mutate and change themselves into something that looks completely different. Then that means that our immune system won't be protected from the vaccine introduction. And so again, we're back to the original conversation of the reality, the truth, that the best thing that you can do for yourself, your family, for others, is really work on strengthening your immune system and making it the best it can be. Our immune systems are amazing, and they have fought off stronger viruses than COVID-19. So really put your focus and your efforts there, and then let the chips fall where they may. Let science do what it does, and we'll get through this. I know we will. Second issue that we've heard a little bit about, and before I go much further, let me also say I've done 4 introductory videos before this one, so this seems like I'm jumping right into the middle of things. Well, I am. And so I invite you to go back, watch those videos, subscribe to this channel, and let us know you like it. Share it with your family and friends, and we'll keep this stuff coming. So the next thing that we're learning is, and seeing in the news, is that trials have proven that the prescriptions are ineffective. And then the next trial will come out and say that they're very effective. And again, we have all this competing information going on in the news media. And really the question is, okay, who do I believe? What do I believe? And what does that really mean? Well, part of the restrictions of the trials that they're doing, whether something works versus not, is they try to do what's called reductionary research or isolation research. And that's where they take whatever product they're trying to test and put it in isolation, testing it against, in this case, COVID-19 or the virus, and seeing if it works. The problem with that is that we know that chloroquine, hydrochloroquine, and even quercetin work by assisting zinc to get into the cell, and then zinc actually helps the cell resist the reproduction of the RNA within the cell. So this means that if you're doing reductionary isolation, or what's another phrase for it is called essence medicine, you're looking for that essence, you're going to miss it. What works in this, what works in human bodies, what works in us is a combination of things. There's usually not a silver bullet. There's not a magic pill. There's not a magic anything. It's a combination of things that really make the big difference. And this is no different. So when you see research that isn't working, or you see that certain things that have been touted to work before and now they're not, well, take a good hard look at the research and see if they're trying to do this isolated and reductionary and or essence medicine. If they are, it's flawed. And it's flawed from the beginning. We know that two-dimensional science and two-dimensional physics does not translate into three-dimensional creatures, science, math, physics, and human beings. And so we really need a three-dimensional approach to really go after this the appropriate way. So that's the basics of why you're seeing some studies that say, hey, this combination works, and then if they study it in isolation, it's not working. It's a flaw in the setup of the research. And the reality is we see that flaw through a lot of the medical research. We've been trained that the double-blinded research, the gold standard of research is this isolated, testing one particular molecule, magic molecule against a certain disease. And again, the reality is that's two-dimensional research. It's flawed from the beginning. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we'll understand why this research can show one thing in one area and another thing in another. One final thought on the research, and that has to do with statistics. We know that with massaging the math, you can get something to show anything. So that is the reality. Okay, so I just want to emphasize again, and again, if you haven't seen the previous videos, take an opportunity to look at those. The most important things that you can do for your immune system and really prepare your body to be the hero, your body to fight off COVID-19. That's get plenty of stress. Those things are get plenty of sleep. Make sure that you try to decrease the amount of stress that you've got in your body. And there are very specific ways that you can decrease your stress. We'll do more on that later. Connect with family and friends. Use this opportunity to reach out, use technology, phones, the internet, Zoom calls, and connect with family, friends that you haven't seen for a long period of time. The reality is we can come out of this COVID quarantine stronger and better than we've ever been. Connect with nature. Nature is amazing, and it has rejuvenating properties in you and on your immune system. So make sure you're connecting with nature. Build your immune system. We've emphasized that. So some core supplements, multivitamins, some vitamin C, vitamin D. Again, this is just a start. Some zinc, things that really help your immune system catch up and run at full capacity, so that if it does find itself in opposition to one of these viruses, it's ready to go and it will win. And then the last thing I would really suggest is take this opportunity to learn something new. We have a considerable amount of time on our hands, at least many of us do, and what a wonderful opportunity to take a class or learn a new task, a new hobby, something new that really interests you and excites you. And don't just kind of do a cursory, how you doing, introductory, and etc. Dive deep. You've got this time. Make sure you dive deep and get into it, really enjoy it. And the reality is, be better after COVID than you were going into COVID. All right, you can do this. Let's go. And again, if you like this video, I encourage you to subscribe. Dink. No, yep, get the finger in the video. And make sure you share this with family and friends. I appreciate all you do. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer. We'll talk later.